Hey everyone, I'm NewEsc and this is the Pixel 9 Pro, the best and most expensive phone from Google, promising to be the best Android in the market, with its new cameras, its new rectangular design, but more than anything, for its Android experience. I bought this unit myself on Amazon for $10.99, but they actually gave me a $200 gift card, so it was actually a pretty good deal for a phone that, it's $100 more expensive this year, but it solved a lot of issues they had in the past. This is the first year that Google gives us two Pro phones, one with a 6.3-inch screen and the other one with a 6.8 screen. I bought the larger of the two and I've been testing it for the last 10 days. Personally, I do think that this size is a little bit bigger for me, so I'll probably change it for the smaller one. The fact that it's now much more rectangular than last year Pixel 8 Pro makes it harder to hold with one hand. I get that being more similar to the iPhone's design will catch some people's attention, but I think that they could have kept the edges a little bit curved while updating the camera design, which I still really like. The main reason why so many people prefer the XL, it's because of its size, which this year it's a tiny bit bigger, but overall, in terms of quality, I didn't notice any difference at all. However, there's something new beneath the screen, an ultrasonic fingerprint scanner that responds instantly to the touch, unlike the Pixel 8 Pro where you have to hold your finger for it to work. But if you compare the speed side by side of both of them, you will notice that there's not much difference. And I think that many of the new features of this phone are just like this fingerprint reader. There is an improvement, but without looking further or comparing it with other phones, you won't really notice it. The Pixel 8 Pro had issues with overheating during demanding tasks, but when you put them side by side running a CPU stress test, you will see that the temperature on the Pixel 9 Pro doesn't get as high, but as you can see in the chart, well, it still suffers from throttling, which doesn't make it ideal for people who game a lot, for example. They also added a new processor with 16GB of RAM, but when you look at the benchmark results between both models, you even question yourself if there's any improvements, because they even haven't improved the storage speed. But it's even worse when you compare it to other high-end models of this year or, even cheaper phones. I understand the Google thing isn't about hardware or performance, but they're falling so far behind that it's getting quite hard to justify, a price increase of $100. The good news is that if you're not gonna game or you're just looking for the best Android experience you can have, well, with this one, you can have it. With Pixels, you will always get the latest updates from Google, and personally, I still think it's the best way to get into the Android ecosystem. Just look at the speed at which I open all of these apps, as fast as other phones with processors that will double the performance of the Tensor G4 in benchmarks, but aren't that well optimized for daily use. Google hasn't changed in this regard, and it's really a joy to use this phone day by day. But I was talking to a friend the other day and I was talking about this processor and the performance of the phone and wondering if it was gonna last the 7 years of updates it has. And compared to an iPhone 16 Pro, for example, I don't think so. But hey, at least its battery has improved a bit compared to last year's model, and now it supports up to 37-watt wired charging, which according to Google you will get with its new charger that, costs $30, but personally, I would get something like this U-Green of 60-watt charge that also have 3 outputs, and it's even cheaper. So, and no, this is not a sponsor. I just think that this is a better option. But note that only the XL reaches 37 watt, while the Pixel 9 and the Pixel 9 Pro, they're limited to 27. But the worst news of all is that they didn't add Ki 2. Which is a new wireless standards that the new iPhone 16 have, but according to Google, it offers no tangible benefits. I mean, really? This way of thinking, it's so bad for the brand, and it's the main reason why so many people prefer Samsung Galaxy devices, because their hardware, it's just a little bit better. Now with the camera, there are also some small improvements. The front camera, for example, is now 42 megapixels, and as you can see in this shot, the field of view is slightly wider as well. The ultra-wide lens have also been updated, and it should be now slightly better in low light conditions. But the main sensor still remains the same of 50 megapixel, as does the 5 times telephoto lens. To be honest, I haven't taken many photos or videos because I want to compare it with the new iPhone 16 Pro, which I probably will get next week, but in video mode, we can now record in 8K at 30 frames per second, but this is done with Video Boost and not natively from the phone. I've shot a few videos with this mode, and yeah, you can see a bit of difference between the videos, but nothing extraordinary. But unlike the Pixel 8 Pro, with this one, I can use Video Boost in 4K at 60 frames per second, so I lose nothing by using it. Unless, I don't want to wait a day for the video to process and finish all this in the cloud. Honestly, I don't think this is a big deal. Just like all the other new AI features, Gemini, video creation, like every brand is doing this, and I'm kind of tired, because it's always the same thing, and Google is not even the best one doing it with Gemini. In English, it kind of works a little bit better, but in other languages, like Spanish, for example, which I talk, it's really bad. But in any case, if you're interested in something like that, you can also check my review of the Pixel 9 where I talk a little bit more about it. That said, the Pixel 9 Pro XL has improved in many of its weaker areas, like its excessive heat, which is now more controlled, the wire charging speed, or the fingerprint scanner, which is now faster. There were other issues like with the signal or Wi-Fi connectivity that I didn't have, but if you go on Reddit, for example, you will see a lot of users saying that with the Pixel 9 Pro, they don't have it. In any case, the Pixel 9 Pro XL is a good phone that still has so many to improve, so much more. Personally, the performance should be much better because if I have a phone for $300 or $400 with better performance, why am I paying $1,000 for this? Besides that, I still have UFS 3.1, this shouldn't exist, and wireless charging so slow, or even wire charging. 37 watt, it's not incredible. And besides that, the experience is really good, and that's what you're paying for, as well as a good camera, but it's time for Google, to give us something better. And probably next year, which, they're not making their CPUs with Samsung, maybe we're gonna have it. Or maybe it's even worse. Who knows? Anyway, I hope you liked this video, and if you have any questions or any comments, you can leave it right there. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.